Nicolas Schabanel, so I'm a senior researcher. So I'm part-time in Paris, part-time in Lyon for a few. Whoops, what's going on? And so I come from computer science. So I did my PhD in computer science and more precisely in algorithms. Do some of you know what algorithms mean? From the computer science point of view, not just writing programs. Do you have any idea of what it is? No? Okay, so we will see that. And it turns out that I was pretty much interested in complex systems in the sense that there are some results in computer science that are really related to complex systems, in the sense that basically computer science is well, that's really slow. Okay, I don't know why it is so slow. Anyway, so basically the idea here is to tell you why I feel that some of the research that are led in computer science are deeply related to the question of complex systems. In the sense that somehow computer science since its beginning is looking at complexity. I mean that basically when computer science emerged was the day where they were able to tell how much time do you need to solve some problem, and to relate that with the size of the problem. I mean, for instance, before in mathematics we were just interested in whether a solution exists, okay, or in physics how much solutions exist and everything, okay. But there were no really measure of how long does it take, okay. And basically, it turns out that as time flew in computer science, basically it turns out that we built a whole theory of complexity that helps understanding what would complex mean in complex system. So that's what I will be trying to tell you today. So do not hesitate to ask me questions at any point if you don't understand what I mean. What I will present today is some kind of fairly theoretical stuff, in the sense that somehow, if you want to understand it deeply, you will need a huge background in computer science. So I have tried to explain everything in such a way that you don't need this background. But at some point, you may have questions, and I will be very happy to answer it for you. Okay? So basically, what's the goal of today's lecture? So there will be 2 lectures today and tomorrow. So today is a fairly introductive one, which will be by far, I think, the hardest of the 2 lectures. But tomorrow it will be much easier. We will just speak about stuff that I do today, and which are fairly easy in comparison to what I will present today. And especially much more, this stuff will be much more concrete than the one I will teach you today. So don't be afraid by today's lectures. Tomorrow will be completely different. So basically what I would like to tell you is how I feel that computer science and complex systems are related. And for that, I would like to give you some homebrew history of complex systems from my point of view. I mean that I will just adapt the point of view of a computer scientist and tell you, okay, what I feel that what do I believe the complex system history is? Okay, so clearly it will be a biased point of view. Okay, and most of you will disagree, but it's just to give you some other perspective of what complex system could be. And all along the talk, I will give you some hint on what I believe the contribution of computer science are to complex systems. And you will see that it may not be what you believe. So, tomorrow, so it will just be some concrete example of what computer science did recently. So I will talk about the small world phenomenon, transitory regimes in Boolean networks, and also algorithmic self-assembly if we have time. Okay, so These are just, I will just show you pictures and some of theory behind it. So basically, the main thing about computer science is that it has nothing to do with computers. Okay, it existed before computers, something like more than a decade before computers, and it will survive computers. I mean that if we find another way to do computation, which are not computers, computer science will remain. And so the citation that I like very much is the citation of Dijkstra, which is one of the founders of computer science, as we know now. Is, for instance, the guy who designed the first really efficient algorithms for finding shortest paths in graphs and everything. Okay, so what he says is that computer science is no more related, it's no more about computers than astronomy is about telescopes. And that's exactly the point. I mean, computers are just a tool. Okay, the one that programs are not computer scientists; these are physicists. Okay, we do not program. Okay, we think about how computation are made, how it articulates, and that's the main point. Okay, so it's the science of computation. Okay, so we think on how something progresses in some sense. I mean that if you imagine that a computation is a kind of dynamical systems that try to manipulate the input until it gets the output, that's exactly what we do. Okay, so we try to understand this process that starting from an input, small local operation on bytes, on bits, okay, will end up giving the output, the right output. And the typical things we look at is how the difference between the output and the input impacts on the performance of the length of the process, or things like that. How much space do you need to do the transformation and everything? Okay, but really, computation is about local modification of the input towards an output. Okay, so that's the basic idea. So the important thing I'd like you to remember is that computer science is born basically in the 30s. Okay, and the first computers was designed 10 years later. Okay, and because it was born on paper, okay, this birth on paper helped constructing the computers. It was not the converse. Okay, computers are born on paper before everything, and then they discovered a technical way to realize them. Okay, but the whole theory of computation was pretty much settled in the 30s. Okay, so that's also an important point here, is that basically, according to my point of view, computer science is born the day we were able to design a tool that was able to tell how much time you need to solve a problem given the size of the problem. For instance, if you want to sort a number of files, okay, how much time will it take when the number of files increase? How much more time will you need to sort the files if the number of files increase? Okay, so for instance, one of the first results in computer science is that if you have n files, it will take a time n log n. Okay, and giving that number, giving the relationship between the time you need to solve a problem and the size of the problem at the beginning, the size is the number of files you have to sort. Okay, it was a huge step forward. This was something that did not exist before in any other field. Okay, and according to my point of view, it's basically when we were able to relate the time to solve an issue, to solve a problem, to the size of the problem, it was the day that computer science just split from any other field. I mean that basically computer science could exist in math. For instance, you have the Euclid algorithm and everything. Okay, but this was not. This was just particular instance that was solved. Okay, there were no new concept at that point. Okay, but at that time, when some people found a way to relate the time to solve and the size of the problem, they found a new concept. And from that point, from that date of time, computer science just